Yeah, so we are in Southwest Philly on at 70th and Upland, which is where these two connecting lots are. Behind me is the bus, and behind the bus is the house that my grandmother, Pauline London, used to own, and where she raised many of her 8 children, in addition to 4 more that she welcomed into her home. My grandmother passed away from Alzheimer's disease, and I started learning a lot about what my grandma, did in terms of welfare rights, writing legislation. Our current Pennsylvania Child Abuse Act, a lot of that language was developed by my grandmother. And by the time I was old enough to kind of really appreciate what she did, she got Alzheimer's, and she passed away. The house was sold, but the land remained, and I decided that I needed to hold on to something of hers, and I saved it with the help of donations and family the day before the sheriff's sale. So getting to this thing behind me is a school bus. It's a 40-foot long school bus, and I've gutted it out also with the help of friends and family, and I'm turning it into a tiny house. So my future home is what you are looking at right now. A few things inspired this project. Some being good inspirations, right? Just seeing examples of these types of things online. The idea of just kind of being free and being able to, travel around the country, not paying bills, of course, but also just a history of displacement that I've experienced myself, and just through seeing people in the city suffer from displacement. And now that we're going through a pandemic right now, a lot of people are facing eviction. But even before the pandemic, housing was pretty much a huge issue. So all of those things kind of push me to think of a different way of living, right? A different way of getting some type of freedom. So that's why we're here. This is the first bus he showed me. It was a really great price, really great mileage. It ran beautifully, brakes were awesome. And yeah, I purchased it that day, and they delivered it that evening, and I drove it onto the lot, and I just sat in the bus with all the seats. It had seats and a floor. It was like a legit bus. And I just sat in the bus. My dad was here, and he was like, oh, okay, so you ready to go? I was like, no, let me just look at this for a while. Like, I bought a damn school bus. This is like the craziest thing I've ever done. And I've done a lot of crazy stuff. But I did a Google SketchUp of what I kind of imagined the space to look like. And the bus is sitting in the same exact space as it is on the Google SketchUp. So I thought that was pretty cool to like see something that I thought of actually come into fruition. Ultimately, I want this to be a space where, like, first and foremost, my family can come and just remember. A lot of us have not been back to this space because a lot of us don't really have a reason to. But I want this to be a space they can come to and remember my grandma and just appreciate it. She grew food on this land. Right? She grew fruits and vegetables in this very soil. And so to be able to do that again in her memory is really special to me. It's really important to me. And even when I go on my road trips in my bus and I'm not here, I want people to be able to use the space, right? Utilize it, grow food, play. There's kids around here. You can't see them now, but there are a ton of kids around here. Just come and use the space, Yeah. So, what's going on in the bus right now, the bus has been gutted. So all of the seats are gone. The subflooring and the rubber is gone. The side panels are gone, and the ceiling panels are gone. There's like one more panel that needs to be removed. There are RV windows that will replace these. There are 24 windows in total. I only want 8 and I'm gonna put sheet metal up against the places where it's gonna be like a faux wall. After the windows go in, because they're leaking right now, I can then start with the subflooring. We live in the Northeast, so obviously it's really cold up here, and I think based on yesterday's temperature we're going to have a proper winter. So I do want to put some like heated floors underneath, because it's, you know, it's a metal box essentially. After I lay the floors, then I can start with cleaning off the ceiling, off the roof, and then putting some solar insulation inside. The only things that I'll need to run on solar are refrigeration, my water pump, and probably an AC for next year, a Dometic air conditioner. Everything else would be like propane and maybe like a wood burning stove. So solar and then plumbing, pretty simple. The toilet is going to be a Nature's Head toilet, which is a compost toilet. It doesn't need any hookup. So the plumbing that needs to be done is just water from the 100-gallon freshwater tank that I'll have inside. That'll be pumped to the kitchen sink and the shower. So that's the only plumbing that I actually need. After those things get installed, then I can begin putting the walls in, and everything else is just carpentry, you know, like walls and doors and cabinets and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's the inside of the bus. It's been overwhelmingly just like positive. I've had people who I don't talk to on a daily basis just like direct message me on Instagram or other social media and just say, hey, I see what you're doing, can I come and help? That's been really, really awesome. People around here who don't necessarily remember me but remember my grandma are like, this is awesome. My family is just really overwhelmed and very happy and just proud of what I'm doing, and they're like, I can't believe this is happening, I can't wait to see the end result. So everything has been super positive. In terms of like anybody looking to do something like this, I encourage you to do it, because flexibility is the new stability, and we're living in some really uncertain times. And so if you're thinking about doing anything, take a risk. I think this is the perfect time to do it, whatever it is.